New CBS News poll shows Harris has something President Biden never enjoyed this year, a slight edge over Donald Trump. And across the battleground states, the two candidates are tied, 50-50. All in all, an essentially even race.
So yesterday, CBS News published a new poll that showed Kamala Harris actually leading Donald Trump in the presidential race. But y'all, it's a tiny lead. It's barely a lead at all, and it falls within the margin of error, but it's something to celebrate. There's still work to be done, but we can celebrate a little bit. And that is why the likes of David Axelrod are now warning the American people that Trump should not be counted out of the race. Before we get to Axelrod, though, I want to watch this deep dive on that CBS poll to find out why her numbers are moving in a more positive direction. Take a look.
You see more Democrats now say not only are they excited about Harris as the nominee, but that they're going to vote, and that'll make your poll numbers go up. In fact, if you look at our estimates across each and every one of the battleground states, from Pennsylvania to Michigan, down south, Georgia, Arizona, and others, they're all even or close, and that is your reset race. You see core Democratic constituencies saying they're going to vote. Specifically, black voters are enthusiastic. Their numbers of saying they're going to vote are up from July. And I want to talk about the women's vote, because not only does Harris do better than Biden was doing, but women tell us they think that Harris would look out for the interests of women much more so than Donald Trump. So it's not just the demographic break, that's the rationale behind it, Ed. But what's also interesting, Ed, is the way the script is flipped a little on some of these campaign dynamics, like who has the mental and cognitive health to serve as president. That was something obviously Joe Biden was trailing on before he left the race. Now it's Harris who's seen as having more of that. And she's also closer to Trump on key views like being competent, being effective, more so than Joe Biden was, which all in all goes back to that idea of Democratic excitement, like they think they've got a better candidate to take on Trump.
I like how it needs to be said that Kamala Harris would probably look out more for women than a convicted rapist, Mr. Grab him by the you-know-what. But overall, Harris leads Trump now 50-49 nationally in the poll. And as I mentioned, there is a margin of error of 2 points. But Harris has kind of leveled the playing field now. Just a reminder that Biden was trailing behind Trump by 5 points before he dropped out of the race. So this is good for Harris and good for the Democrats. And we love an upward trend. The poll wasn't all good news for Harris, though. Trump still holds the lead when it comes to a few major policy issues. Let's watch some more.
On the issues also, does he still enjoy an advantage over Harris, now the Democrat, on the big issues or concerns of voters?
So that's really important, because some things in this race have not changed. The idea that you would be better off financially if Trump were elected, Trump still has a big advantage over now Kamala Harris on that. And the idea that his policies would slow or decrease the number of migrants trying to cross the border, that he still has an edge on.
Yeah, so I think this is a good thing for Harris. She hasn't even been a candidate for a month yet, right? Keep that in mind. But she's already made some incredible progress with her campaign. She needs to lean into her messaging now regarding those issues that voters still prefer Trump on. As we just saw, that was the border and the economy. And this whole campaign have got to be about messaging, it seems. It seems like the Harris campaign finally gets that, though, which is very encouraging. This is our third time dealing with presidential candidate Donald Trump. So we know his tricks by now. We know all of his tactics. And we know that, if anything, he is a marketing and branding genius. He's so strong on messaging that he barely even has a political platform. And yet he's managed to convince millions of Americans that he'll be good for them and for their bank accounts. He doesn't care if something's true or not. He just repeats it over and over again until his supporters believe it. It's impressive, if not sophomoric.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
All right, Cenk, what do you think? Do we trust these polls?
Yeah. I do. I've been consistent on this throughout. I think the polls are accurate. I thought the polls were accurate when the Democrats were getting their asses handed to them. And all the Democrats said, I don't believe the polls. The polls are nonsense. Now that Kamala Harris has caught Donald Trump, all of a sudden we all believe the polls again. The Republicans didn't believe the polls when Trump was losing in 2020. They loved the polls when he was winning. Now they're back to polls are fake news. Okay, no, the polls are generally correct. But it's the collection of polls, so this one poll in particular, you shouldn't put all your eggs in that basket, of course, right? But is there momentum throughout all the polls for Kamala Harris catching Donald Trump? Yes, definitively yes. So what did we say? Get rid of Biden, you'll pick up 5 points instantly and maybe even 10 points. So boom, we just picked up the 5 points. Biden was losing by 5, and what did I tell you 100 times? The Democratic candidate has to win by about 5 at the national level. It's not true in the swing states, but on the national level, because you're gonna pick up a lot of extra votes in New York, California, et cetera, as Biden did. He won by 4.5. The popular vote, and barely won the Electoral College by about 43,000 votes. So now Kamala Harris is caught up and passed them by a point. And in the collection of polls, they're about even, okay? So great, we did half the job already. That's fantastic. It doesn't mean that it's not gonna go backwards, but for now, that's terrific news. If you think it's already over and she's gonna win, you're totally wrong. No, we've gotta make up the other 5, okay? So now maybe it turns out, hey, you know what? The voting patterns have shifted a little bit within the states, and the Democrat only has to win by 3. Maybe, but most importantly are the swing states. Again, the one that I'm stuck on is Nevada, because Biden in one poll was down by 12 in Nevada. Now Kamala Harris is up by 2 in Nevada. And there you don't have to worry. And at the state level, you just have to win the state, right? You don't have to win by 5 or 1, it doesn't matter. It was super tight last time. He won enough votes to win in those states, that's all you need. So definitely good news, just as we thought it would happen. But at the same time, don't rest on your laurels, because at this point, if the election were held today, it's really close and Trump would probably win. I don't think that he's going to win in the long run. If these things continue, Kamala Harris should overtake him, but there's gonna be a lot more bumps in this road. If it's not gonna just go straight like this for the next 4 months, that's too much to ask for.
Yeah, absolutely. So much can happen between now and November, and not just November. This election's going to go past November like it did last time. We already know what the game is going to be. But overall, that CBS News poll was great news for Kamala Harris. She's got a lot to work with now. But the night before it was published, the poll results, ex-Obama advisor David Axelrod issued a warning for her and the party. He doesn't want Democrats getting too excited about Harris just yet. Take a listen.
You know, there's a lot of irrational exuberance on the side of on the Democratic side of the aisle right now, because there was despair for some period of time about what the November was going to look like. Now people feel like there's a chance, but it is absolutely Trump's race to lose right now. He is ahead, and he is ahead most of the battleground states. They're close; they could be won by either candidate, but there is a lot to be determined in the next 90 whatever days, 96 or whatever it is left. Yeah, I think it's a wide open race, but Trump has the advantage right now, and everybody should be sober about that on the Democratic side.
Like how the Democrats finally have something to be excited about, and David Axelrod's like, no, none of that. Well, on the other hand, Nate Silver revealed this weekend that for the first time, his election forecast model now has Kamala Harris as the favorite to win the election. He said this on X with a graph. He said the streams have crossed. I'm sure there was a better way to say that. But like I said earlier, things are definitely trending in the right direction, and we love to see it. His forecast has Kamala Harris with a 50.5% chance of winning and Donald Trump with a 48.8% chance of winning. But I do get what David Axelrod is saying, as much as it hurts to hear. We remember what happened with Hillary Clinton when she was up against Trump. She was practically moving her stuff into the White House when she lost the election. She couldn't even imagine a reality where she would lose the presidency to Donald Trump. And to be fair, many Americans were unable to take his candidacy seriously. But even now, even as this is our third time dealing with this guy, we can't get comfortable. A lot can happen between now and November. He's just as ridiculous as he was 10 years ago, but he's spent the last 10 years strengthening his base and dividing the country. He's still formidable as an opponent, and Democrats have to be ready to fight, as I said, not just in November, but maybe all the way up until January. Just, keep your guards up. Cenk, what do you think?
Yeah, last couple of things here. So look, guys, again, sorry, but I told you, I said that Kamala Harris would take the lead in Nate Silver's analysis last week, and here we are, boom, streams have crossed. She's taking the lead. So on the other hand, I don't think these things are that complicated. It's amazing how biased people are based on what they want to happen, right? So in this case, I want Kamala Harris to win, but that's not, again, vis-a-vis Donald Trump, that's a no-brainer to me. But it's not like I'm rooting for the person I want to win or against Donald Trump. I've obviously shown that 1,000 times. No, she's got huge momentum, but do not make the same mistake Hillary Clinton did, and she's not at this point. Hillary Clinton's people kept saying over and over again, don't worry, we're definitely gonna win. We're definitely gonna win. I'm like, I don't get it. Even if you thought that that was true, why would you keep saying that to people? It'll depress voter turnout because they'll think you already won. And anytime anybody on TV said she might lose, her team would just be vicious apparently behind the scenes. Even the Morning Joe team and the MSNBC team complained about it after the election. Oh, whenever we raised doubts that they would take our heads off. But by the way, note to MSNBC, why do you care? Why do you care what the Hillary Clinton team's gonna say? They're so in the tank, it's embarrassing, right? If the Clinton's team, Harris' team, any team told us, hey, you better not say that on air, I'd be like, yeah, duly noted. Don't care at all. You're not the boss of me, but apparently they are the boss of MSNBC. Anyway, one last thing. That crazy comment, discussion of who's better on women's rights. Come on, man. Donald Trump took away Roe v. Wade and brags about it. How is this close? Even if you don't care about the sexual assaults that he was adjudicated on, that he has confessed to on tape, etc. Even if you don't care about any of that, he took away a woman's right to control her own body. That's an open and shut case. So look, if you're a fundamentalist Christian and you think, okay, I don't care about my rights, and so as a woman, I want to give away my rights to my master, my husband. And that's why I think Trump is better for women's rights, because I don't think we should have any. Okay, then you go vote for Trump. If you want to vote on a different issue, okay, everybody's got a different thing that they care about. But on women's rights, it's not a debate. It's not close. There is nothing to say in favor of Donald Trump. So let's just be clear about it and honest about it. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.